Let's see. Apparently I'm live. Well, apparently I'm live. Just like that, I figured out how to broadcast. Broadcast live. Oh boy. Now I can do live. Apparently I'm live. And show the screen and the computer and the laws and the fake laws. Well, apparently I'm live. Just like that, I figured out how to broadcast. Broadcast live. Let's go with John Grisham. Now I can do live. Apparently, it's not that difficult to convict an innocent person, as we're about to see today. Okay, so this is Mike Oxlong coming to you live from, where are we at here, people? Coming to you live from the red carpet. Ooh, that's upset. There we go. We're coming to you live from the red carpet, where Mike Oxlong is going to get on his soapbox. Mike Oxlong is going to get on this soapbox and report live. You know what we need. We know what we need. We know what we need. We know what we need. Tomorrow's the hearing, but today's it never stops. So apparently we found a judge that has an authority. So we've been waiting since 1700s, late 1700s here. Where's the lighter? Get on my soapbox here. All right, so I'm here on my soapbox. And apparently since, this is Mike Oxlong, soapbox special. It's the evening update, weekend update with Norm Macdonald type shit, if you know what I mean. Y'all gonna need to take a deep breath on this one. Apparently, how's that lighting? Ooh, how am I at? All right, no. Let me get some more light in here. There we go. So apparently there's a judge in Pima County, Arizona that believes she has the authority to upend, to take away the First Amendment of the United States. Apparently, coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona, Mike Oxlong has done some investigative reporting, and he's determined there's a judge in Pima County that actually thinks that their authority usurps hundreds of years of case law, and not even, it doesn't even need to be 100, literally a case from last year, the Counterman case. So apparently this plaintiff was able to make allegations and lead to the suspension of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, as well as Arizona state law. We have now found a judge who believes they are above the law. For those who know my reporting, they'll know this is not anything they haven't seen before. But again, we just keep showing one after another, and we'll continue to do so. So let's go and break it down. Reporting live, this is Mike Oxlong. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, as you can see, tonight in the news, there's a story. John Grisham. Many of you have heard of him. He writes books. I believe he played an influence. I believe Lane Myers had read every of his books, and that inspired him growing up. But anyways, that's a different story. You know, like if you read about stories like The Firm, the one where Susan Sarandon, The one where, oh man, I know them all. I just can't. It doesn't matter right now. But yeah, the one where Matt Damon's like the lawyer and shit. Come on, bro. I'm Goodwill Hunting. I'm all that. I'm Tom Cruise in fucking Mission Impossible. I'm all that. But anyways, we're gonna what happened to Army veterans? This story is about it's about the wrongfully convicted, right? John Grisham did a story. It's not that difficult to convict an innocent person. We know that.
26 years of Social Security not put in.
And they can't quite shake the past.
Do you have nightmares?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have trouble trusting people?
I don't trust anybody. Family. Family is as far as it goes. And these people are included in family.
And these men are actually the fortunate ones, John Grisham says. There are untold others still waiting to be heard.
What we are trying to do is bring attention to these cases and show people that these cases happen all the time. It's not that difficult to convict an innocent person. It's virtually impossible to get one out.
That's right. It's easy to convict an innocent person. That should scare you. Where's that quote? It's only the second nonfiction work by John Grisham, a former attorney who sits on the board, asked about the wrenching emotion on these stories. We can't begin to believe that somebody would last for 20 years on death row and walk out and be able to function. And I've met so many of these guys over the years. They have endured something the rest of us cannot begin to comprehend. It's called irreparable harm. There's no amount of money that can fix it. But money is the only thing that fixes it because you have nothing and you have to start from nothing and you have to build something that only money can build, but then you have nothing because you were set back. It's a long story. With regards to the book title, Framed, who's doing the framing? The police and the prosecutors, McCloskey said. The police are coercing witnesses into false testimony. Prosecutors are hiding exculpatory evidence from the defendant. It goes on and on. The walls of the Centurion office in Princeton are lined with some of the faces of those clients. And the numbers say Grisham and McCloskey are troubling. Nationwide, 3,600 people have been exonerated since 1989, 68% of people of color. Racism is a huge factor. If you're a person of color and indigent, you've got an uphill battle because you have no resources to fight this wrongful conviction. And most of those wrongly convicted, as the case of Kenny Gardner, Mark Jones, and Dominic Lucci demonstrates, were simply unlucky. They went to the auto store and asked for bolts. Back on January 31st, the soldiers and their early 20s were together at a wedding the day before Jones was to get married. After dinner, they drove 45 miles to a blah, blah, blah. They stopped 3 times to ask police officers directions, unaware that a drive-by shooting had taken place, and they were about to cross paths with the only eyewitness. We asked the police officer that was walking around the street with a gentleman in a suit where the place was at. She said, it's right there. We assumed the guy in the suit was a detective. He was the eyewitness who told her. That kind of looked like the car. Shortly after, police took the 3 men in for questioning. They were arrested for murder hours later. None of them had criminal, none of them knew the victim, and there was no gun in the car. There wasn't a gun found anywhere. Still, no gun has been found. There was, Jones said, nothing to connect him to the shooting. So how did it go? Not just to arrest, but to conviction. Wrong place, wrong time. There was also, says McCloskey, racial unrest in the murder of black men blamed on 3 white men put the city on edge. They made a case against them to demonstrate that red hats are not allowed in a city of blue. Oh, wait, sorry. And these are, all right. At trial, the witness, James White, identified 2 of them men as shooters. I literally almost passed out because the jurors were out for 8 hours before returning a verdict of guilty of malice, murder, and possession of a firearm. I literally almost passed out because I was so shocked. They were sentenced to life in prison plus 5 years. Does that mean I got to serve life, and when I die in prison, you guys are going to keep my body for 5 more years before you lease it to my family? I don't understand what's going on here. Lucci wrote letter after letter to Centurion, which only accept 1 or 2 cases a year, but in 2009, McCluskey and his team took the case. 2009? This shit happened in 1992, bro. 17 years before they even got help. Even after he admitted he lied about, even after Mackenzie White, or what, not Mackenzie White, even after Mackenzie O'Brien admitted she lied about everything, they still kept trying to prosecute you. Supreme Court ruled the state's failure to produce a key piece of evidence to the evidence of the original trial violated the law. They were finally free. Blah, 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 lives in Texas and rents a room in a house where Mark Jones lives along with his mother. Oh, they all live with their mom. They both have jobs delivering pizza, phone operator at the VA. They can never get back what they lost. 21 to 47 in prison for some bullshit. 26 years and no work. Social Security. Damn. Let's see. Some more shit. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna that's my shit. We're gonna break down some shit right now, straight out of get your phones ready to call this person right here. And so on Friday, Lane Myers after being harassed for a week and denied an injunction. Lane Myers decided to drive himself up to the courthouse and get the injunction served so he could get the ball rolling with the the clowning of the judge and the hearing and all that. You know what I mean? What I should say, where's this shit at? What I should say is that what I should say is that a process server delivered a bag of wet Kleenexes, and then he didn't have the order in it, so I went up there to the court and got the remaining box of used Kleenexes. So we're gonna go over the decisions of Judge Walt, and then we're gonna have, like I said, this judge, Dawn Walton, believes that Lane Myers cannot post any message or content regarding the plaintiff. She basically thinks that Lane Myers, who has a media company in the state of Arizona, can't talk about public information on a public um, employee and broadcast the news just like all the news channels do. All the news channels broadcast. They talk about public. The mayor did this and that. And story tonight is, the mayor in surprise kicked somebody out. That's public information. It's all public information, as we'll see based on the plaintiff. There's nothing that says I can't talk about what happened to me. I'm not instructing anybody to contact the plaintiff. Don't do that. It won't help my case. I'll be fine. This video is about what the judge did. Uh, we don't need to contact the plaintiff. We got what we want right now. We got the judge we're going to be able to get a federal injunction against and hopefully end her career for this decision. So now let's review it. This shit got my fucking right here. Okay. So now remember, the law is, you know what? Give me a second. We're going to pull this up and go over some laws. Laws. Not feelings, laws. Laws. They're called laws. Okay. Give me a second. I'm pulling this shit up. All right. Now I'll come back. Okay. Now we're going to figure out. Well, actually, I'll tell you what. First, we need to call the judge ourselves. We got to make sure that it wasn't a mistake. Let me figure out how I'm going to do this. Okay. We got to make sure it wasn't a mistake. So what's the number? All right, let's give her a call. Can we hear this? I don't know if they can hear it. That's the problem. So I'm making a video and I'll pull it up.
Hello, you've reached Natalie, the Judicial Administrative Assistant for the Honorable Don Walton, Division 58.
They even call her the honorable. They call her honorable on her voicemail. Let me make sure we tell her she's not honorable.
Please send me an email to nanelson@sc.pima.gov and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you. Have a nice day. Please leave a message at the tone. When finished, you may hang up or press pound for additional options.
Okay, so she didn't answer, but when you call this number, you'll get the voicemail, which directs you the procedures from there to leave a voicemail and to email it. So let's all go over this now, and let's show how Dawn Walton decided that she can suspend the First Amendment of the United States Constitution because somebody brought her a box of used tissue. The plaintiff, a public employee who's paid for by public money, who Lane Myers shared public information. So this is she couldn't do this to ABC News. She couldn't do it to Lane Myers. That's the bottom line. And on top of all that, Lane Myers actually has a media company in the state of Arizona. So it is like her doing it to an actual media company, because I am an actual media company. See what I'm saying? So now you can explain how you're being sued by my media company and me. Because not only do I have a media company, but I also have Mike Oxlong, a reporter, who you violated also. So we'll be making sure we get that. So this is where you call to let the judge know that she does not have the authority to suspend the First Amendment. And now we're going to show the law that says she does not have that authority. So when you call there, make sure you know what you're talking about. And here's the law to make sure you know. We're going to show the whole world this judge decided to make up her own law on Lane Myers. Okay. Apparently, allegedly, on 9/12, Lane Myers, a defendant in a city court case that it looks like the plaintiff's spouse was prosecuting. On this day, Lane Myers called plaintiff at work and left a voicemail asking for plaintiff's assistance in helping plaintiff's spouse not be a crooked-ass prosecutor, among other things. A few minutes later, Lane Myers sent an email to plaintiff's spouse work email saying he will come to my workplace to talk to me. He also said he was going to visit plaintiff's neighbors and attempted to cite plaintiff's address. So my reporter, Mike Oxlong, tells me that he has a copy of that call that was allegedly to be an incident of harassment. We'll see now. We're going to play that call.
You have reached Shannon Walker, Director of Special Projects at the James E. Rogers College of Law. Please leave a message and I'll call you back as soon as I have a chance. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Lane Myers, 520-771-2021. I see you're Director of Special Projects. Well, I'd like to ask if you could approve a special project where you help me end your husband's career for being a crooked-ass cop, prosecutor, wannabe, whatever he is, hiding these cops from prosecution. I figured the U of A, maybe Stacy could help me. Maybe I should talk to you or Stacy, or maybe one of these
Because, you know, my wife also is an alumni of the College of Law and is actually has taught there. So, like, we got two sides that are about to come crashing together here. So, you can help me teach your husband how to follow the law, or I'm going to take his career. So, I figured since I'm a member of the community and my wife's an alumni of the law school, that maybe I could get access to the materials at the law school in order to fight for justice, since Stacy's all about justice. So I guess I got to call Stacy next.
Okay, so I didn't hear any threats. I didn't hear anything harassing. I heard ass. I didn't hear any bad names. I didn't hear any insults. I didn't hear any vulgar language. I didn't hear anything other than redressing a public employee who's married to another public employee, and a member of the community believes that that public employee is violating the public, and the public wants to redress it. So as a member of the public, Lane Myers should be able to call a public number. It says her work number, but it should say at my public number. Okay, her number's public. It's on her website, and so, or on the public website. So how? It's not like Lane Myers got some secret information and called her. Anybody could call this number. Anybody could get this information. It's not like Lane Myers bribed somebody or got some secret information or knows something somebody else doesn't. Lane Myers just fucking used the Google. That's all. And then it says that about an email to the plaintiff's spouse. Well, why is the plaintiff's spouse talking with the plaintiff about what happens at work? Because it's a public record and he can. Just like this thing I'm showing is a public record and anybody can request a copy. This is a public record. You can't stop somebody exercising their First Amendment right to talk about public employees and their publicly listed numbers and public records and what their opinion is about public employees. And there's plenty of laws about this, as we're going to go over. Maybe we should get the laws up before we get too far in the video. Let's get into some laws. Let's get into laws that would apply if there were laws that apply, other than there was nothing happening. So as we can see, the first incident was not a threatening phone call, other than public person, public employee, about another public employee, public resources. Can I get access to public resources? Can I? You get what I'm saying? That's all that person wanted, was to address public behavior with public employees. Okay. The First Amendment says that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peacefully to assemble. Let me see. Is the press, would social media be considered the press? Of course, bimbo. Don Walton, you must be new here. She actually is. She was a lawyer for 30 years and then she came up on this shit, and now she just you know what she did. She just fucked herself. Now she's going to get judicial complaints and look like a dumbass and get a bunch of calls saying that's not how the law works. So hope it was worth it, because it's our First Amendment right to redress the public officials. Second law, petition, First Amendment part of the petition. No law, the right of the people to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Last I checked, the plaintiff works for the government, and the defendant was redressing grievances, not making threats, as the whole world can see. Secondly, there's Arizona state laws about this. Literally, there's state laws. Because it was a voicemail, it was not an in-person communication, it would be electronic. And it does not apply to constitutionally protected speech or activity or to any activity authorized by law. Which, as we can see, Constitution says you can petition the government, okay? And there's no law that can stop you. And even the Arizona law stopping you from doing it to people who are not a public official says this law does not apply to public protected speech or activity, or to any other activity authorized by law. This activity is authorized by law, so this section doesn't apply. So therefore, it's not harassing use of a voicemail, okay? Or the social media or any of that. The news can make a story. If you don't like it, too fucking bad. Don't work in public official or public office, public employee. If you don't like it, take it to case law. And if you think this case is going to be the one that changes the United States Constitution, I got some fucking oceanfront for you at the top of Mount Lemon. Second of all, because all these communications between the plaintiff and defendant involved workplace, the plaintiff's workplace, that would fall under workplace harassment because there's no allegations of the plaintiff doing anything other than there's no allegations of the defendant contacting the plaintiff in any other capacity than the plaintiff's work capacity at their public job, at their public university, in their public building, and all communications related to communications between the hours of 8 and 5 in a public space open to the public. So that would be all the communications between the plaintiff and the defendant revolved around the employer. So it would be, if anything, it would be workplace harassment because all the harassment involved the workplace as a public employee. But however, you can't get that because even in the workplace harassment, it says, this section does not allow a court to issue an injunction that prohibits speech or other activities that are constitutionally protected or otherwise protected by law. Okay, these other ones don't matter but it does include actions involving organized labor disputes, as long as they don't involve. I'd say this could be considered a public dispute. It doesn't involve any unlawful picketing. It didn't involve any unlawful trespassing. It didn't involve any unlawful mass assembly. It didn't involve any concerted interference with lawful exercise of business activity and engaging in a secondary boycott. It did not engage in defamation, and it did not actual or threatened misrepresentations, fraud, duress, violence, or breach of the peace. Okay? So therefore, there can't be this injunction even issued because it's constitutionally protected and it's otherwise protected by law. Also, this law that we just looked at here, 1329.6, is the law that says you can leave voicemails using constitutionally protected speech. And the injunction against workplace harassment says you can not stop people if the law says they can call your workplace. You see how that works, plaintiff? Exactly. And judge. Mostly this is about the judge. This video is about the judge. So remember, we can already see Judge Walton needs to be read these rules. So call up and say, Your Honor, and it tells you how to do it. If you get the voicemail, it tells you how to do it. It's public information. This is not special. Anybody can go to Pima.gov, Arizona Pima.gov. This is state law to have this listed. This is the law. This is the list. This is the judge who took away the First Amendment in Arizona Pima Superior Court. We need to get that back. I mean, I'm going to do a hearing and all that. I'm going to put an injunction, but the point being is this is not a lawful order. And therefore, my assertions that the cop who was harassing me was trying to give me something that was not lawful. And now my original statements to the judge that it was not a lawful reason to contact me are proven true. And the reason the cop didn't do it and he had the other guy do it is because, like I said, it was unlawful. And if he served it, he would not get qualified immunity. Instead, they had this other guy serve it, this fake process server. And so now the judge is going to be held accountable. And so as you can see, this involves YouTube channel, the video with Conor McGregor, workplace bio, which is public information, photo, professional email. It's public. It says professional, but it should say public email, public phone number, public office. He stated his opinion. That's legal. YouTube. He states a comment that's his opinion. Comments. He gives his opinion. He gave out the public information. Public information on my public workplace's website. Posted a new video in response. 1 second. posted a new video in response. Public information, media, social media is media, press. You publicly displayed. This is all, even Google, YouTube's policies. It's public. It's all public information. It's all public information. It's all Mr. Meyer's opinion. All this workplace is public information that anybody can get because it's on a public website. So it's not like he listed a number of private company. It says that he said he would visit her at her public work, and anybody else can go to there because it's a public building. So it's a public building. So after the video, the plaintiff received 4 phone calls and 2 voicemails. So 6 contacts. 4 phone calls, but only 2 voicemails. So 4 phone calls, you'd be between 4 and 6 calls. I'd say that tells me that that there's not enough being done to redress this. Imagine if I had 500,000 subscribers, how many people would be calling? And then the public pressure would actually, I mean, obviously here it didn't matter because public citizens calling public employees, not even the person who the injunction's against. So somebody else called this person, and that's a reason that the defendant should have an injunction from the plaintiff. Think about all this, which is why we got to let them know that's not how it works. They need to go down into lost and found and return Mr. Myers' First Amendment rights that he lost. They need to go find him in lost and found and return them. And so looks like Mr. Myers went to the public building. He broadcast live from a public building just like the news does all the time. In fact, I wanted to show something, this is what reminds me, because I want to show something about public buildings. And watch this.
Now, do you want to hear something crazy?
What?
There are some straight up weird.
New developments coming together tonight after an attorney says the FBI visited his client's Stillwater home over her social media posts.
A lot of people post hot takes online, but they might be surprised if armed federal agents showed up at their house because of it. Fox 25's Tom Ferguson joins us live from the FBI's Oklahoma City offices. So, Tom, what new concerns are coming?
So this news station in Oklahoma just said their reporter, Mike Oxlong, not Mike Oxlong in this video, but they just said the reporter's coming to them live from the FBI building. But when Lane Myers goes to the FBI building, they cut his signal or they get mad or whatever. But this guy can literally watch this. Now remember, I thought the law was you couldn't film in front of the FBI building. Well, watch this. Why isn't it news purposes if you have a media company? Oh, watch this.
To light tonight.
Adam and Wendy, I was just on the phone with that attorney hours ago, and he's wondering if federal agents here with the FBI followed proper protocol and fully identified themselves during the visit. He worries not having that information could bog down any investigations into what happened. What went down that day was caught on camera. It's a video that caught the attention of many.
Okay, this shit don't matter at this point. I just wanted to show this guy's broadcasting in front of the FBI with a camera pointed at the sign, but when I did it, they got all mad. And like I said, I don't have a problem with the FBI. I'm not worried about that. And so me and the FBI are not we're not you know what I mean, adversarial. What they do to other people is not what involved me. I know I have no problems with them, but I'm just saying, to be hypocritical. This person is literally filming, and it's a news station in Oklahoma that I have more subscribers, which tells me that my channel is bigger than like even news stations in Oklahoma City. So imagine if it was really big, right? And so like they're filming in front of the FBI. So why wouldn't Lane Myers be able to live stream from a public place? You can literally live stream in front of the FBI, but you can't live stream in front of or from a school building where everybody was asked if it was public. Mr. Myers asked multiple times, was it a public? And everybody said yes. So he asked, can I be here? And they said, yeah, no problem. Can I do this? Yeah, no problem. So why would that be something when it's legal? It's legal to do that. It's constitutionally protected. It's constitutionally protected. Let's get into threatening. Mr. Myers didn't threaten to cause physical injury or physical injury to another person or serious damage to the property. Mr. Myers did not cause in reckless disregard to causing public, not limited building, place of assembly, or transportation. Mr. Myers did not threaten to cause physical injury or damage in order to promote or assist in the interest of cause, induce, or solicit person to participate in a criminal street gang, criminal syndicate, or a racketeering enterprise. If anything, it was the opposite. It was Mr. Myers was peacefully asking the plaintiff to leave a criminal street gang, criminal syndicate, or a racketeering enterprise known as the City of Tucson Police Department, City of Tucson, and the City of Tucson Court and Prosecutors. So let's go back to some case law now. A publisher, the reason this one is included is because it's actually reverse psychology. So not all case law supports you. Sometimes you got to use one that goes against you to show that your argument is contradictory. Sometimes you got to argue from the opposite place. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm being told that we can request a copy of, so when, just like I had a hearing that I put up online where the judge denied me an injunction, the plaintiff, when they got this injunction, they had a hearing, and you can request that online. The public can request the hearing, and the case number is right there. C202-202-4611. That's the case number. Request a copy of the audio so we can hear what the plaintiff said to the judge and what the judge said back. When this person was telling him, I'm really sad. This person's making fun of me. I'm a public employee, but let's pretend I'm not. Let's pretend that my workplace information is some kind of confidential information that's not available on Google. Let's pretend that Arizona ARS 132916 does not apply to constitutionally protected speech. Let's just pretend that. Let's just pretend that he came into my house even though it was my workplace. So if the testimony is that he came to my place of work, then why wouldn't it be an injunction against workplace harassment? You know, there's no allegations of coming to this person's house. So if they came to their work and not their house, why would they be banned from going to their work, which is a public building, if they've never been there in any other capacity that was lawful? So how could they prohibit speech or other activities such as freedom of petition, the right to assembly, the right to address grievances? How could Judge Dawn Walton, Commissioner, Family Law, take away the right of the First Amendment when the law, we're not even arguing about this or that. We're literally saying that there's an Arizona statute that says you cannot apply this to First Amendment or constitutionally protected speech or activity, right? Speech or activity. Speech, press, come to your work and assemble at a public place, and to petition your grievance for the government of their grievances, okay? That's all constitutionally protected speech or activity. That's all constitutionally protected speech or activity at the workplace. That's all that, none of that is threatening, okay? So let's remember, Dawn Walton needs to explain that now. But here's the crazy part, is that the judge that issued this is not, when I appeal it, the judge that issued it is not, they give you to a different judge. So you're even deeper in the thing now. So now you got to go in front of a judge that didn't issue the order and argue what the other judge was doing. It's just a setup for failure, because then you're already coming in there. You're not neutral. You're already going to be at conflict with the judge that does the hearing, because you want to argue what the other judge did, and this judge wants to argue what they did. And they'll just say, well, I can't, the other judge, I wasn't there, it wasn't me, I can't say. Oh, no. This is the scam. This is the giant fucking scam playing out before our eyes. Johnny 5, need more info. Here we go. So, here's a case from the Supreme Court from the 70s, right? And they're saying a publisher or broadcaster of defamatory state falsehoods about an individual who is not a public figure, right, may not claim against liability on the ground concerning issue of public, right? So what it means is that somebody was suing this broadcaster because they were making statements, but they said, so in this case, what I'm saying is this was a private individual, and they tried to say, well, the New York, they were not defaming a public person or a public figure, right? This involved two private individuals, right? And this person made statements, right? And so they tried to say, well, the New York Times can make those statements, so it's not defamation, right? But the problem is they were not public officials nor public figures, so you couldn't claim the First Amendment in that case. So in that case, the reason I'm showing that case, which is negative, it's like saying that just proves, okay, the turning point on the deciding factor in the Supreme Court about could you make public statements about people and say that the news can do it, so I can. They said only if it's a public official or a public figure. Okay, so public figure, public employee, director at the University of Law School, website information all over the website. Director, you're the director, you're the high. It's like come on, that's a public figure. You go to events, the public can interact with you, the public can contact you. There's no fucking way they can argue this is not a public figure. Okay, let's move into a case though from last year. If people are really hip to the biz, it's Counterman versus Colorado, and this is a controversial case because this was not a public person. It was a singer, a musician, a private woman, and this guy was sending her messages, right? And a lot of people say this case shows, yeah, I'm right. Obviously, Lane Myers was nowhere near what this guy was doing. But it just reinforced that basically if they're a public employee, you can pretty much say anything you want, even if it's defamatory. And this whole case, this Counterman case, it really, really, really helped define the First Amendment and public and non-public and threatening speech and non-public speech. And it's literally in the Supreme Court from last June, right? This person sent hundreds of Facebook messages. In this case, Mr. Myers sent 2. This person sent hundreds. Okay? Tried to block them, but you can't block because you're public. The public can't block. Okay? I've sent the plaintiff 2 emails that we're reading one of them. Actually, this is the only email, I believe. Maybe I don't want to lie. I might have sent another one, but I'll look. But I don't want to show my email right here. But they didn't claim there was another one. They didn't claim I sent her any. Let's see. Voicemail, YouTube video, YouTube video, YouTube video, YouTube video. Went to live stream like the news does in front of the FBI building.
Caught on camera.
FBI live. You can be live in front of the FBI building without getting in trouble, as we can see, but that's a different story for a different time. So back to this. This person did not claim, the plaintiff did not claim that Mr. Myers sent any emails, but Mr. Myers is saying he sent this email. And this email right here. This email, public employee, here's the laws that apply. Before the injunction, of course. He did not send this email. I'm talking about before the injunction. But it was conveniently left off the injunction that the email that was received contained all the laws and case law that showed why the communications by the defendant were legal and the judge had no lawful authority to chill that speech. And so let's move. So you can read the Counterman case. And I'll apply all these at the hearing when I got time. I don't need to contact this person, so it doesn't matter. But I can definitely talk about it on social media. And so it's public record. Even the mission. This woman was a attorney for 30 years. Let's look up MRPC 3.6, trial publicity. A lawyer, we've went over this before. A lawyer may state information contained in a public record. Okay? So even lawyers, in the case can talk about it, let alone a news company covering the story. Get out of here with this, man. And you're supposed to be an attorney. To be a judge in that court, you need to be an attorney, and you don't even know Rule 3.6 of the Model Rules of Professional Conduct. How can you be a member of the Bar Association if you don't even follow the rules? So this is another complaint. You're punishing somebody for talking about information contained in a public record. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. And so let's keep it moving. Here's another case. This is the case saying public officials, you can't, so because what I'm getting at here is that the address that they said I couldn't come to is the public library at the university. It's public. So they took away, now they're saying that if I go there, it's not only trespassing, but it's an injunction for harassment. I mean, it's a violation of an injunction. Get out of here. It's public property. You can't take away my right to public property without, I already have a lawsuit about this. Dawn Walton Commissioner, Family Law 520-724-8594. So how can you do it? And we're gonna, as a matter of fact, let me keep it moving smoothly, but I'm gonna pull some other stuff up. So they took away my right to go to the public library because I did nothing wrong. And they're saying in this case, Kennedy versus Cincinnati, what we talked about in my lawsuit in federal court is that there's no excuse for qualified immunity when you can't just say you were following orders, okay? You can't, they got to determine if Lameyer's right to lawfully remain in public spaces was clearly established. Of course it was. The First Amendment, it doesn't get any more established than the First Amendment and Arizona state law, okay? Arizona state law, not just amendments, because I know some people think that case law is not law, but we'll get to that. So the First Amendment, right? And a law and case law. There's no excuse. You don't get qualified immunity when there's a amendments, laws, case laws. No. You don't get qualified immunity because you don't just get to say, like in this one right here, you don't just get to say you were just following orders, Judge Walton, which we know you were. You made it up. You're gaslighting all of us. So now the public's going to let you know that you can't do that. And then in Schwenk versus Hartford, in this case, you know, it's like in this case, the public employees tried to argue that they're allowed to, that they can do this and it's not cruel and unusual punishment. They're saying a reasonable prison guard could not believe that. So the guards are trying to say that we need qualifying immunity, and you know, we need qualifying immunity. We didn't know. And they're saying no. There's no prison guard that can say that it's not. A reasonable prison guard simply could not have believed that he could, with impunity, enter the cell of a prisoner, unzip his pants, expose himself, demand oral sex, and then, after being refused, grab the prisoner, push her up against the bars of the cell, and grind his naked penis into her buttocks, right? A cop actually went in there and said, oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that. That's basically what they're trying to do to me and say, oh, we didn't know we couldn't do that to him. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. Your Honor, you're dishonorable. So there's this fake injunction. But what's funny, the plaintiff asked to take away the guns of the defendant, but the judge said, no. The judge said he can have his guns. He can keep his, I don't own any guns, so I'm not saying, it doesn't matter to me whether the judge said, it matters to me that I would, if they said I couldn't own guns, I would fight that just because I technically can own guns if I apply, whatever. I'm not like there's plenty of states where I can own a gun. In Arizona, I need to go fill out some paperwork first. So it's not like I can never own again. I'm not a violent person, none of that, nothing. I can own a gun. There's a step to it. But when they give you these things, they try to take away all that. And I've never had a violent anything in my life. I have never, ever even been accused of violence, especially with a firearm. And so, you know, if they would have said take away my guns, I would have fought that as a Second Amendment advocate, even though I can't own guns currently. I don't own any now, and I don't um have the piece of paper that says I can in Arizona. But if I went to a different state, there's states I can go to I could drive to New Mexico and own a gun the same day. You know, I mean, I can possess a gun in New Mexico, Michigan. There's a bunch of places where if your crime is really low, you can just own a gun. You don't have to do the paperwork. But in Arizona, you have to do the paperwork. But that's a whole different story. But it was funny that because of these social media videos and a phone call that was legal, the person said, "Can you take away his guns? Because I'm really scared um, of the risk of harm to the plaintiff." And so um, I'm so used to being the plaintiff. I'm not used to being calling myself the defendant. But anyway, so the plaintiff says that, right, not to go to the public building. And then the judge said, "Well, in theory, if this person had AR-15s, this person is so dangerous, they need an injunction harassment, but they can keep their AR-15s, but they can't post on social media." Make that make sense. And when you make sense of it, you can let Don Walton family law know. That's what I'm trying to say here. That's what I'm trying to say here. Oh man, I didn't even know you could see this little chat on the side. All right, all right. I'm gonna tap. I don't know how far, but hi people. I'm gonna type something. I just saw the chat, so I apologize. There's a delay. Like the chat screen is I'm talking and then this chat screen thing is behind a little bit. But I need people to know the First Amendment still exists. We showed the case law. Oops, I shouldn't have. Give me a second. I need to go to a different screen and pull that case law back up. Pulling that up. I'm actually seeing if I've ever sent the plaintiff any other messages actually, and I'll post them if I have. All right, let's see. Have I ever sent the, so I think it looks like so far, give me a second here. Yeah, okay. Unless I clicked the link and did it. All right, let me see. I'm all the way back into July now. I can assure you so far back to July. Yeah, so as I thought, the email that we just went over is the only email ever sent. So it was one voicemail, some YouTube videos sharing public information. I need to take away this guy's guns, and he needs to be banned from coming to a public university and broadcasting, even though he owns a media company in the state. You know, so it's they can't say I'm not a news company they can't say I'm not there for legitimate news purposes if I literally have a news company that I've had for a long time, not just since yesterday when they gave me this injunction. So I have a pre-established news company before anything happened at O'Reilly's, before any of that stuff happened. Back because of what happened in New Mexico, I had to figure out how to license and do all that. And so media company is being told they can't use their freedom of the press. They would never tell the local major news stories, major news locations. They couldn't talk about public information about a public person. They do stories about people all the time, public people, and they use public information. Now, if I put up her home address, plaintiff's home address, and if I put up like, hey, this is their personal number, call them on their cell phone at 2 a.m. and harass them, see, that's not legal. But calling somebody between the hours of 8 and 5 and leaving a voicemail, or saying, can I come speak to you during the hours of 8 and 5, or can I, you know what I'm saying, or, you know, broadcast from their work, or talk to their other public people at their work, or, you know, stuff, disseminating public information as a news company is not a crime. Get your mind right, people. So back to Mike Oxlong reporting live from the soapbox on the red carpet. As we can see what's going on with Lane Myers, Mike Oxlong did an investigation and gathered all this. And so as we can see, one second, the mic's not hot. I got to get the mic hot. Sorry, I didn't. Cut. All right, take 2. The mic is hot. So it's Mike Oxlong here reporting live from the red carpet soapbox. It's Mike Oxlong. What is this soap? Docs Naturals. Men's daily use. According to the security guard, I don't use it. I'll be straight up with everybody. Lane Myers doesn't use soap because it fucks your body up. So, but that's a different story. That's a different investigation into the chemicals they put in everything. So this undercover investigation revolves, do we have the First Amendment right to redress public employees, disseminate public information as a new member of the news, my channel is not monetized. I'm just sharing the news. I'm not doing it for commercial purposes. I'm not doing it to make money. I'm doing it to share the news for legitimate news purposes. A media company with registered, all the legalities aside, Lane Myers has his own media company. Legally. In a court of law, Lane Myers has his own media company. So now Lane Myers' media company can sue the judge too, and the city, and the county. So now they're taking away Lane Myers' ability to broadcast. I don't think so. So now Mike Oxlong is going to do an interactive chat while the public come together and address this. That's Mike Oxlong reporting live. Channel Live Evening News. We know what it is. We know what it is. There's people that There's people that know exactly what song's about to start pumping.
Yeah, I know you're digging this type of shit right here. We about to spark it on the mic. Yeah, come on. What we do is spark mass. 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 The episode starts when I walk down the block. It reach in my pocket. Yo, where's my knot? It follows me into the spot, compelling. Go check the dread, and yes, he's herb selling. Up and out the gate, I'm a potential felon. Ism is spelling like I ain't even telling. Channel 1, 2, I'm smashing the law. Channel 3, I make a run to the store. Channel 4, leave the store with the Philly, cause I spark the ism. I'm off the channel live.
They
Wake up in the morning, got the yearning for herb, which loosens up the nouns, metaphors, and verbs, and adjectives. Ain't it magic, kid, what I'm kicking? Multi-flavor bags and sex for the picking. So listen to the ism as it talks non-stop. Hawaiian when I'm rhyming, but so is the chocolate tie. Now the high starts to settle, kicking fat lyrics that rocks like heavy metal.
I'm coming out of dance with a slip I send. See, when I speak, big up Mac, Elo and Malik, like John Lennon. Yes, I'm ICMing. I start grinning and syllables start bending. My style is untangible, like a wild animal. Check the label as it goes round, it's on capital. That's when I'm smacking you with, cause it's easy. Like Lionel Richie, your whole style is bitchy. Switch me, mix me, somebody get me. Don't let me rip out my clothes like Bill Bixby. Ripping the microphone
take you over like I was hypnotism. So where's the lighter to the cipher and skills that I'm bringing? Hyper than a little kid on ginseng, roots and culture. My intellect will insult ya, finish off your dead mind like a vulture. I gotta get mine, get it quick, cause there's all these weak rappers steady making hits, fuck that. By 94 I bring the skills back. So listen, now I'm doing what I wanna do and sparking madness. What we do is spark 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 madness. I come with notions deeper than the ocean. Check out my potion, mad rhythm in the motion. The ism brings the wisdom when I kick it on the rhythm. Second how I rock it in a cipher. The sire takes you higher, lyrical messiah. Yo, pass that lighter. Counterclockwise, I rise like the sun. Now feel the heat from the rays of the gun, shooting out the mental mist. How you gonna know the real shit when your style's counterfeit?
His shit is counterfeit cause he's motherfucking phony. Coming to the jam, try to front like you know me. Listen to this new type of something. Bumping, 94 ain't for no frontin'. New type of lingo, catchy like a dingo. Roughneck hip-hop is dripping from the single. Now, let me introduce you to the one. The channel live window, this loosens you up. Going through the channels of the remote control. Flicking through the frequencies of your soul.
Then roll the ism, the inflator. I'm weeded like wearing a sweater at the equator. I'm heated, but I flip a style like a flipper channel. Step up and test the skills. You can get my testicles. Cause hip-hop's been running through my veins ever since. So it wasn't hard for me to grab the mic and represent. Representing, tormenting MCs, craniums till they can't flow. Why? Cause I'm draining them. Don't mean to be blunt, but don't front. I'm doing it for the love, so now I'm doing what I want to do. With my channel live crew, so just listen, diss and whack MCs and sparking up madism. What we do is spark madness. 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 What we do is spark madness.
Oh. It's almost like somebody has tried to get a federal judge. You know how I know these laws matter that I'm showing? Because I actually have a case in federal court going where they complained about my fucking where is it at? This is my shit they're denying. Give me a second. All right, here. Motion for sanctions. Trust me. Finally, defendants, the crybabies, have filed a motion for sanctions because they're crying. Because Lane Myers, yeah, you can get a Rule 11 as a pro se, so don't fuck around, but obviously I wasn't. But because obviously they said, this federal court, this fucking federal judge who's been there for 20 years, 2000, appointed in fucking 2004 by President Bush. So, all right, so they're saying they want the case dismissed, blah, blah, blah. The difference, right? This is all because they tried to use my emails as a reason that the complaint was frivolous. Like a Rule 11 means you like filed like a fake lawsuit. I didn't file a fake lawsuit. I just was an asshole. And that's where they fucked up right here. They're saying, oh, he's harassing us. He's harassing us. Hundreds of pages. Hundreds of pages. The plaintiff here got one voicemail. One motherfucking voicemail and a couple of YouTube videos. One fucking voicemail and a couple of YouTube videos. Defendants, hundreds of pages. Okay? You should be glad that you aren't Nuevo County. You aren't the person who lied about what happened, and you aren't representing liars in court, because you would be getting, and this, I'm taking it easy. Look at this shit. Fucking, I've already showed people this. I eat lawyers like you for lunch, right? Straight facts. Da 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 da. I'm pissed, you're trash. Oh yeah, safety first, right? Hope you're able to find safe space to consume this, right? Oh, I hope you have safe space to realize Lane Myers might not look at much to look at, but he fucks like the government. I have. Can you click on it? All right. If I can zoom in. It says Lane Myers. It says me. I have good flirting skills, and then as an indicate to represent my flirting skills, it's a sign that says I may not be much to look at, but I fuck like the government. That's how I flirt. Don't these people realize I'm flirting with them when I'm rubbing them with laws and shit? Hey, baby. Not baby, but hey, brother. I'm not even none of that either. It's more like I got these laws for you. Hey, you know, emails to various county officials. Money mouth. I'm rentless. I'm a fucking. These merely scratch the surface of the bizarre, outlandish, and concerning. Right? Bizarre, outlandish, and concerning would be appropriate. Would be appropriate to use, but not illegal, and need to be stopped or threatening. So bizarre, outlandish, and concerning. Right? It is totally inappropriate for plaintiff to be communicating with named defendants. Okay, cool. Who are represented by counsel and potential witnesses. I don't do that. If plaintiff was an attorney, his communications would certainly violate the rules of professional conduct. That's why he's not in the bar association, because then they can't kick him out for being an asshole. One of the defendant's attorneys even brought a male associate. Yeah, they pulled the old, I had to bring a bodyguard because Mr. Myers might, fucking, what's it say? To escort, it's like, oh, I needed to bring security to, because I needed to feel safe. Although, in the next sentence, the judge is going to say, yeah, but he didn't threaten you. So, you could say, oh, I needed to bring security. And then it looks like, oh, yeah, something happened. But then it's like, well, nothing. It's like saying, yeah, I feel like I need to hire. It's like, that doesn't mean there's an actual valid reason. We all know that she brought security with, she brought another, but what it doesn't say is she brought another lawyer, and he had to leave because he wasn't admitted to practice in federal court. And instead of making her safe from me, it made them look like dumbasses who didn't have the right paperwork in order. And so the hearing had to get delayed while this guy fucking went downstairs and got his shit together to even be allowed to come to the hearing. More bar association bullshit. All right, so security walked him out of the courthouse, even though that's what they do. Hello, duh. Standard procedure. Two parties are leaving a court hearing. Fucking security. Hello, that's what they're there for. Literally, it's not. Oh yeah, we need to do. It's fucking. You know what I mean? They do that. That's what they're paid to do. Make sure that the parties don't interact. That's what they're literally in the building for. So that it's like, oh yeah, security walk. No shit. And the fucking sky was blue that day too. Yeah, the court, a real court with a real judge, understands that, you're frustrated dealing with plaintiff's antics. Although plaintiff, it's up to the line. In the court's judgment, it does not cross the line from protected to unprotected speech. Mr. Myers knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. Mr. Myers is demanding and unprofessional. It never is point of threatening, let alone true threats, which are not protected by the First Amendment. So I literally have case law that the court is not declined to sanction plaintiff for speech that is protected by the First Amendment. However, Don Walton was. Don Walton was saying, we'll take away your First Amendment, no problem. We'll take away it. Defendant shall have no plaintiff. It's not plaintiff in a case, but see how they do that now? They say, oh, you can't, now it's a plaintiff. No, it's a public person, and it was always a public person, and it's a fake plaintiff and a fake fucking bullshit scam that's being exposed. And what's funny is even with 7,000 channel, 8,000, whatever, it's got my 8,000 followers are so powerful, we got judges breaking the law to stop me. He can keep his AR-15, but by golly, I don't have an AR-15, so I don't have one to keep. So I don't need no fucking bullshit. I don't own guns, and there's no guns. So it's not even, but it's like in the context of talking about how what's funny is the other person who got an injunction for me and who's an actual attorney did not check the box so an actual attorney was like, no, I don't want to put that on there because that could come back later when he sues me for malicious prosecution for making up a story and trying to have his Second Amendment taken back. I know he can sue me for civil malicious prosecution. But what's funny, this plaintiff must think that the plaintiff's spouse, who's a prosecutor, is going to save them from a civil lawsuit. They can't represent them either in this. So the plaintiff's going to have to hire a different attorney other than the plaintiff's spouse, because the plaintiff's spouse is an attorney for the city of Tucson and it can't represent private people in private matters. So now all this is the judge is going to get exposed. They're going to have to hire lawyers. We're going to have a court hearing. We're going to call witnesses. I'm going to subpoena people, and I'm going to expose everything to the whole world about how the First Amendment is greater than any judge's feelings, and there's no box of tissue on this planet that can take that away. And so we've seen the law. We've seen a judge tell Lane Myers tiptoes the line. Lane walked the line, Myers, right? Even fucking with Judge Paul Maloney, United States District Judge, right? He even Nick knows it's Lane tiptoe to the line, Myers, motherfucker. So that don't work well for everybody. You might have no friends and no, you might be single with no friends if you tiptoe the line. But I don't know. It's my life's blueprint, I guess. It's fucked up. They'll just make the lines. They'll just keep, that's what I'm saying though. They'll just keep restricting the lines. They'll just keep restricting the lines on us. So what we need is this. And I want to do some chatting on the chatters, like however I do that. I've never done that. That's why I wanted to try this live. I wanted to tell me if you want to see something. Here we go. All right. I'm on the chat now. Let's see. Welcome to live chat. Remember to privacy and abide. All right. Early and often. 80. Let's see. I'm starting at the top. Let's see. What up? Weren't they pretending they were closed? We're just watching. Warming up. Let's see. Plea deals are much. So pregame batting. I love you, bro. I'm going through all these chats right now. Going. I'm not a fast typer, that's for sure. If chatting involves typing, we're fucked. Let's see. Mike Oxlong will handle anything. Trust me, Sylvia. That's a blessing and a curse. He's a public person, right? He needs more tissues. Tissues. Yes, definitely. Bulk. Oh, Michelle's asking, when did they make that law? When they tell you it's not a law. That's the point, is that in one of my videos they tried saying that I couldn't. I don't want to argue. I don't want to make this about the FBI. But there's the CFRs are about news purposes, right? You can't go out there and live stream and be like, hey, look, here's the FBI. Look at all these fucking agents going in and out and show their face and show their car and show their license plate and fucking expose them and do all that shit. You can stand out there and make a video and walk away, though. You can't. And so, well, I'm not the court, and I'm not telling people. I'm telling people that I'm using that video of the newspaper and or the news station in front of the FBI building to show that you can talk about public building. You know, you can go stand in front of the public building and do a news story in front of it and show the public building like I was doing when I visited the plaintiff. But and I was showing you can not only can you do it at a public university, you can do it in front of the fucking FBI building if you really wanted, just to prove a point. I showed that video. Not that I want to go and I don't have. I'm not trying to go. The grievances aren't about doing it in front of the FBI building. I know that as long as I don't put any agents or their cars or their video, or I mean, excuse me, anything like that on camera, they would not have a problem with me standing across the street, pointing my camera for fucking 45 seconds saying, I'm coming to you live, and you get the little recording, and then you leave. Now, if you're out there fucking putting it in people's face, I've done that, and I don't recommend it, and I don't encourage it. Please don't do that, especially not in Tucson. They got enough shit they're dealing with without people bringing them off their daily work to deal with that. That's not what we're trying to do here. Let's see. So, the Mike Oxlock soapbox update. Yeah. You gotta be careful because if you have too many personalities, they'll be like, yeah, man, what's up? He's crazy. Love to see Mike Oxlock. I just watched your video with the judge, a town in my county, but let's see, it's criminal. You literally went in there and asked if it was public. Right, I did. Shout out. I literally went in there and asked if it was public. Exactly what I did. I was like, hey, is this public? They're like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. Fucking, can I fucking, you know what I'm saying? Talk to this public person? Oh yeah, they're right over here. All right, cool. Let's see. The news does it. What about paparazzi? Paparazzi, you know what I'm saying? How can they go after people that are the paparazzi? Uh, the paparazzi can go after private people and stick cameras in their face. Oh, your movie sucks. Oh, what happened? Tell us who you're dating. Who'd you lay in bed with last night? Da 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 da. I heard this. I heard that. I'm not. Yeah. Please let's not argue in the chat because united together. Delete laws. Let's see. I'm going through all this, man. Mike, exactly. KVP knows got to stay hydrated. When you're Mike Oxlong, you have to stay hydrated because you could be on the scene at any moment. Let's see. I don't know how we know how far it's behind. I wish I knew how many seconds the video and all that shit. What's it showing? It's showing what I'm looking at, which is this. We don't need to watch our own chat, so let's do this or this. Let's see. Sorry about the Batman, the Bushman trap. I know exactly what he's talking about. You can do it with a fucking Batman Wayne, the Bushman trap. Hey, you can do that with a raccoon too. You could take a board, you could cut a hole in a little thing, put a nail and then put something shiny, and the raccoon will reach past it, and when they go to pull the shiny thing out, it'll catch their arm on the nail. She said they were asking if I'm a lawyer. Yeah, I'm a lawyer, but I'm not in the bar. I identify as a lawyer, and I can tell the judge I'm a lawyer because that's, you know what I mean? I could tell him I'm a fucking, you know what I mean? Anything I want, truly. But as far as like, can I go to court for other people? No. The Bar Association wouldn't allow me in that's the scam we're dealing with right now. I know more, I'm better at the law. They're better at being nice. And so the law always wins. But you can't make money being and knowing the law and being an asshole. So if you want to be a lawyer, you got to be nice and you got to be willing to, you know what I mean, practice law. Lane Myers doesn't practice law. He enforces the law. It's a big difference. Let's see. Let's see. Going through this chat, I want to make the screen, I see what happens. So when you're not doing that and you're looking at the chat, the screen is just my little wall with the boo and all that. All right. Hey, forgive me, this is the first time. So the issue is I want to be able to show the judge's number and look at the chat. So, put it in the chat. That's a good thing. Watch this. Chat it up, boys. Let's see. I got a bunch of judges. I got about 8, 9, 10 judges right now. Mountain time, my shit'll be at 9 o'clock Tucson time, but about my court hearing tomorrow, Arizona time's fucked up. If daylight savings has not happened, we are behind mountain time. Once daylight savings time happens, we'll be the same as mountain time. So right now, Denver and Tucson are not the same unless they did. Arizona does not have whatever it's called, daylight savings. So as we're talking right now, it's 1:22 p.m. in Arizona. So take that and look at whatever time it is there and figure it out. It's 1:22 p.m. here. I'm pretty sure it's 2 o'clock right now in Denver and 1 o'clock, in noon in California. I want to fucking figure out how to how to do shit. What I want to do is fucking call the judge so we can hear it. What do I got to do? Fuck, dude. People calling this judge? Yeah, it's 3 hours in Tampa. I used to live in Tampa, Hillsborough Avenue. Off Hillsborough. I used to ride the fucking Pinellas Trail from over there by Hillsborough, all the way to fucking Orange, way the fuck, the mall, the Orange whatever mall, up and over the bridge, along all that shit, Dale Mabry, all that shit, and then I would ride that shit all the way south to fucking Pinellas County, down there, Tarpon Springs and shit. Oh yeah, Tampa, Florida, motherfuckers, 6 years. I seen somebody shout out Tampa, that's why I said that. Paw dog. Hey, but it's 1:20 in the judges, and let's see if we can ask her. I'm trying to call her and see if she's found the First Amendment and is ready to give it back to me. Let's get the phone going. Huh. video. I'm gonna make another video about Deloria today too, because tomorrow's the hearing. What do you think? Do you think Deloria will hear? Let's see. I'm just gonna put in the judge. Why can't I? Hey, fuck. How can I can't chat. I can't I can't fucking make a chat. Like I can't. You can't space. So it all has to just be one sentence in the chat. You can't like say something and then have underneath it. No, I'm not a Florida man. That's how I had to get the fuck out of there, buddy. And so, no, actually, nothing in Florida. What's crazy is I hadn't been charged with a crime in 17 years. And then I went to New Mexico and got arrested for saying, "Get off my land. Get off my grass, motherfucker." All right. Let's see. Second device. All right, I see what you're saying. Look at it on my phone or something. And then, all right, watch this. Right now I'm gonna call. And I don't think the audio of the phone that does the video is on. See? This droid thing, right now the audio comes in through the microphone. And if I wanted to come through here, let's see. What do I do? Huh. Enable audio. It'll just be absolute chaos because there'll be two audios. I would need to turn off the fucking, I could turn off the microphone and just talk. And then it picks up. That's for the next time. I know what I'll do. I'll not wear the headphones. I'll turn on the audio on the video camera, which is my iPhone. And then that will let me, instead of wearing these headphones and talking into the little mic, it'll mean that I'm talking in the room and the microphone on my iPhone is picking up everything. So then I can call and you can hear it while I'm calling. I'm learning on the fly here. I'm gaining confidence by the second. So let's go back to this chat thing. Yeah, brother, I used to ride that trail all the time. There's alligators along it. All right, Your Honor. It's funny that her voicemail says honorable. It should say the dishonorable Walton. Let's see. I already know they told her not to answer when I call, so I already know it's a scam. So if you call, though, you can leave a message and get more information that way. That's what her secretary says. Hello, good afternoon. My name's Lane Myers, and I believe in a hearing in Judge Walton Court, or chambers, or wherever they have the hearings. I believe that I lost my First Amendment rights in there. Do you know where I can find them? What's the best policy for finding your First Amendment rights if you lose them at a hearing? I am one. And I'm not really able to figure it out either because I can't find a single law that authorized what she did. Oh, she took Lane Meyer's media company. She took Freedom Productions right to broadcast away. So it seems like, so I would want to make this as also putting Judge Walton on notice that so it's not ex parte. I will be filing a federal lawsuit against her in federal court within the next day or two, and seeking a temporary restraining order to her injunction, and then hopefully suspend her from practicing law right now until she can learn that the First Amendment supersedes all her feelings. You can't come up there and turn in a box of Kleenex and get a injunction against harassment for a media company broadcasting public information on in this public space. So a public employee, that's your first clue that an injunction harassments don't apply under state law, Arizona law. There's literally a state law. It's not just feelings. It's 132916 use of it. So if somebody leaves one voicemail on a public employee's voicemail, that's not harassment because under Section C of 132916, it does not apply to constitutionally protected speech or activity authorized by law. And if I contacted this person at their work, which is the University of Arizona, and between 8 and 5 at a public building on a public number at a public place, that falls under Arizona Revised Statute 12/1810, injunctions against workplace harassment, which you cannot injunction speech or. It's not testimony. This is putting you on notice for the lawsuit that's coming tomorrow. So I can show the federal judge that it was not ex parte. This is considered constructive notice, so it lowers the standard of an injunction because I'm going to get a federal injunction against Judge Walton's order. And so in order to do that, you have to put Judge Walton on notice. And this is what I'm doing. So I'm telling you that this call is being recorded and I'm giving it to the federal judge to show that I called up there and put her on notice that I'm seeking a federal temporary restraining order against her unlawful injunction prohibiting Freedom Productions from broadcasting First Amendment protected news information. She didn't think it through very good, I can tell you that. And I know it says she's a lawyer for 30 years. Well, she can start planning her retirement right now because she won't be a judge by next week.
All right. Well, then I can't speak to you on her behalf, but I will say thank you for calling.
Should I just email her or what? Does that get to her? You're going to get a lot of calls. I can promise you that.
All right. Thank you for the heads up.
A lot of calls and emails too, because the First Amendment supersedes Judge Walton's feelings as the commissioner of family law. And you need to change. There's a mistake on your voicemail when you said you work for the Honorable Judge Walton. There's nothing honorable about suspending the First Amendment unlawfully in violation of Arizona state and federal law and getting yourself a federal injunction and a civil lawsuit in the position of a judge. So I don't know where. So Judge Walton might need legal advice. I think you should probably tell her it's time to hire a lawyer because she's got federal lawsuits coming immediately. She's in violation of state law. You can't issue an injunction again and not call workplace. Contacting somebody at their work, that's like you getting an injunction against me because I called this number. It's not lawful. There's no lawful authority. And there's about 50 cases and there's Arizona state law that you cannot get an injunction against workplace harassment. All the contacts involved public person at their job, not at their house or on their personal number. It's an injunction against, that would be workplace. If all the contacts involve the workplace at a public university, then the public university should be getting the injunction. But instead, right now, I can't go to the law library where I was going at the public university, and the university didn't say I can't come there. Judge Walton did. And that's a problem because the university's now in the middle of this too. Because if I go there and something happens, now I can sue the university also. So Judge Walton, who I believe is a graduate of there, just put a $4 billion university name on a federal lawsuit because you can't say I would be trusted. You can't arrest me for going to a public building because Judge Walton said I can't go there. That's the problem we're dealing with right now. So Judge Walton decided to enforce her feelings. Shannon Walker comes in there, the prosecutor's wife and all that. It's all a setup, okay? And it's all being shown to I'm broadcasting live right now. So I'm violating the order and I'm going to continue to violate it. And I dare her to try to enforce it. And so the more she tries to enforce in violation of the law, the more I'm going to enforce the law on her. That's how it works. You can't stop a news company from talking about a public story. There's thousands of cases since 1700s about this. I have a registered media company with the state of Arizona. Judge Walton cannot say K-Gun 9 cannot broadcast.
Okay.
I know it's okay.
Well, I will tell you, I am just answering because I have nothing that I can necessarily say.
But you talk to her. I know how it works up there. Trust me.
You are able to file a request for a hearing to get possibly get the injunction.
But it doesn't go to the issue with that is it doesn't go to Judge Walton. It's a different judge that hears it, and I want Judge Walton. I'm not going to let Judge Walton get away with it. So I don't need to file for a hearing. I can just go to federal court and file a lawsuit and a federal restraining order and throw that injunction in the trash and keep doing what I'm doing because no little Pima County family commissioner overrides federal law. Okay, I have a business, so now she's going to be sued by my business also.
All right. That's the only thing I know about what options you have is in regards to we only have jurisdiction over the injunction against harassment.
So what happens if I violate it? What is she going to do? Nothing. I dare her. That's what I'm saying. I'm calling you and I'm telling you.
After it's been issued, it's in law enforcement's hands, so that's not really our purview. So if you're violating the order, then that's law enforcement, responsibility from here on out.
Are you familiar with the terms qualified immunity? Are you familiar with qualified immunity?
Sorry?
Are you familiar with qualified immunity?
I am.
So you know that that you can't just say you're following orders. You haven't been able to do that since the Nazis, right? When they were throwing people in the ovens. World War II, they got rid of you being able to say you're just following orders. So the law enforcement, if the law enforcement enforces the unlawful order, they're in trouble too. Then they don't have qualified immunity because they're required to know that Judge Walton can't do that. So that's the whole point. I'm looking to sue as many people as I can. Dishonorable. Dishonorable. Get it right. Dishonorable. Do not lie. You're good. I believe that I've given her notice of the preliminary injunction and temporary restraining order, and I can say that it's not ex parte because I know for a fact you're going to talk to her about this call.
This is ex parte communication, so
I don't know what you mean about that because this is involved. This is not ex parte communication. This is me calling and putting Don Walton on notice. Would you like it by phone or email?
If you could put it in writing, we would appreciate that. Go on ahead and put it in writing so that, however.
So I can show the federal judge that I put it in writing.
I don't know what your next step is, whether or not you need to put it in writing or not.
Well, I can either go get one without calling. Like I can, just like she did to me, she issued it without hearing from the other side. I can go and ask for an injunction against Don Walton's order without telling her, but it's harder to get. You see what I'm saying? It's like, well, what's so important, and that's what happened with her. She should have held the hearing, and she didn't. And so she issued an injunction, with an ex parte injunction, without anywhere near being at the standard. And so me, because I'm a better lawyer than her and I know what I'm doing, I'm now covering my bases, and I'm saying not only am I going to put an injunction on her, but I'm telling her about it ahead of time. So now that so then when I go in front of the judge and tell her that I'm going to get the injunction, then I can say that the judge is aware, which means they're going to be more willing to grant it because the party is aware of it. So that if you know an ex parte injunction, so that makes it easier for me to get it because she's been put on notice.
Yeah, according to the Arizona rules of civil law procedure, that is your right to go and get whatever you need to do. So I can't.
Where did you come up with that? Arizona what? Arizona rules? No. This is federal. Federal rules of civil procedure, Rule 65. Federal rules of procedure, Rule 65.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Yep.
Enjoy the rest.
Hey there, chat, for a second. I don't know if you could hear that or what, but I just tapped into the judge. Let's see. Let's see. How do I now? Hey, so in order in order to play the call that I just listened to. Oh, no, wait, give me a second. All right, now I'm going to play the call to the judge's secretary. Let's see. Trying to figure out how to use all this technology. It's overwhelming me. I'm a simple man with my simple laws. Let's see, so that is IMG 2498. All right, I need to pull up 2498, 2498, 2498, 2498, 2498, 2498, 2498. Fuck, I got two of these motherfuckers. What do you know when you got two iPhones? 2498, 2498, 2498, 2498. I don't think that secretary quite understood that. Here we go. Bam.
Good afternoon. This is Natalie with Pima County Superior Court.
Hello, good afternoon. My name's Lane Myers, and I believe in a hearing in Judge Walton's court, or chambers or wherever they have the hearings. I believe that I lost my First Amendment rights in there. Do you know where I can find them? What's the best policy for finding your First Amendment rights if you lose them at a hearing?
I can't provide you legal advice, so I can't tell you how you would proceed in that manner. I would recommend seeking out an attorney.
I am one.
Or some kind of legal representation. Oh, okay. If you are one, then I don't know what you are able to do, but you...
And I'm not really able to figure it out either because I can't find a single law that authorized what she did.
I have no reference for what you're talking about.
Oh, she took Lane Myers' media company. She took Freedom Productions' right to broadcast away. So it seems like, so I would want to make this as also putting Judge Walton on notice that so it's not ex parte. I will be filing a federal lawsuit against her in federal court within the next day or two, and seeking a temporary restraining order to her injunction, and then hopefully suspend her from practicing law right now until she can learn that the First Amendment supersedes all her feelings. You can't come up there and turn in a box of Kleenex and get a injunction against harassment for a media company broadcasting public information in a public space. So a public employee, that's your first clue that an injunction harassments don't apply under state law, Arizona law. There's literally a state law. It's not just feelings. It's 132916. Use of it. So if somebody leaves one voicemail on a public employee's voicemail, that's not harassment because under Section C of 132916, it does not apply to constitutionally protected speech or activity authorized by law. And if I contacted this person at their work, which is the University of Arizona, between 8 and 5 at a public building on a public number at a public place, that falls under Arizona Revised Statute 12-1810, injunctions against workplace harassment, which you cannot injunction speech or...
I can't accept it. I'm sorry. I have to stop you. I'm the judicial administrative assistant. I can't listen to testimony. I can't tell
It's not testimony. This is putting you on notice for the lawsuit that's coming tomorrow. So I can show the federal judge that it was not ex parte. This is considered constructive notice, so it lowers the standard of an injunction because I'm going to get a federal injunction against Judge Walton's order. And so in order to do that, you have to put Judge Walton on notice. And this is what I'm doing. So I'm telling you that this call is being recorded, and I'm giving it to the federal judge to show that I called up there and put her on notice that I'm seeking a federal temporary restraining order against her unlawful injunction prohibiting Freedom Productions from broadcasting First Amendment protected news information. She didn't think it through very good, I can tell you that, and I know it says she's a lawyer for 30 years. Well, she can start planning her retirement right now because she won't be a judge by next week.
All right. Well, then I can't speak to you on her behalf, but I will say thank you for calling.
Should I just email her or what? Does that get to her?
I'll go on the message.
You're going to get a lot of calls. I can promise you that.
All right, thank you for the heads up.
A lot of calls and emails too, because the First Amendment supersedes Judge Walton's feelings as a commissioner of family law. And you need to change. There's a mistake on your voicemail when you said you work for the Honorable Judge Walton. There's nothing honorable about suspending the First Amendment unlawfully in violation of Arizona state and federal law and getting yourself a federal injunction and a civil lawsuit in the position of a judge. So I don't know where. So Judge Walton might need legal advice. I think you should probably tell her it's time to hire a lawyer, because she's got federal lawsuits coming immediately. She's in violation of state law. You can't issue an injunction again and not call it workplace. Contacting somebody at their work, that's like you getting an injunction against me because I called this number. It's not lawful. There's no lawful authority, and there's about 50 cases, and there's Arizona state law that you cannot get an injunction against workplace harassment. All the contacts involved public person at their job, not at their house or on their personal number. It's an injunction against, that would be workplace. If all the contacts involve the workplace at a public university, then the public university should be getting the injunction. But instead, right now, I can't go to the law library where I was going at the public university, and the university didn't say I can't come there. Judge Walton did, and that's a problem, because the university's now in the middle of this too. Because if I go there and something happens, now I can sue the university also. So Judge Walton, who I believe is a graduate of there, just put a $4 billion university name on a federal lawsuit, because you can't say I would be trusted. You can't arrest me for going to a public building because Judge Walton said I can't go there. That's the problem we're dealing with right now. So Judge Walton decided to enforce her feelings. Shannon Walker comes in there, the prosecutor's wife and all that. It's all a setup, okay? And it's all being shown to I'm broadcasting live right now. So I'm violating the order, and I'm going to continue to violate it. And I dare her to try to enforce it. And so the more she tries to enforce in violation of the law, the more I'm going to enforce the law on her. That's how it works. You can't stop a news company from talking about a public story. There's thousands of cases since 1700s about this. I have a registered media company with the state of Arizona. Judge Walton cannot say K-Gun 9 cannot broadcast.
Okay.
I know it's okay.
Well, I will tell you, I am just answering because I have nothing that I can necessarily say.
But you talk to her. I know how it works up there. Trust me.
You are able to file a request to hearing to possibly get the injunction.
But it doesn't go to the issue with that is it doesn't go to Judge Walton. It's a different judge that hears it, and I want Judge Walton. I'm not going to let Judge Walton get away with it. So I don't need to file for a hearing. I can just go to federal court and file a lawsuit and a federal restraining order and throw that injunction in the trash and keep doing what I'm doing, because no little Pima County family commissioner overrides federal law. Okay, I have a business, so now she's going to be sued by my business also.
Okay. All right. That's the only thing I know about what options you have is in regards to, we only have jurisdiction over the injunction against harassment.
So what happens if I violate it? What is she going to do? Nothing. I dare her. That's what I'm saying. I'm calling you and I'm telling you.
After it's been issued, it's in law enforcement's hands, so that's not really our purview. So if you're violating the order, then that's law enforcement, it's responsibility from here on out.
Are you familiar with the terms qualified immunity? Are you familiar with qualified immunity?
Sorry?
Are you familiar with qualified immunity?
I am.
So you know that that you can't just say you're following orders. You haven't been able to do that since the Nazis, right? When they were throwing people in the ovens. World War II, they got rid of you being able to say you're just following orders. So the law enforcement, if the law enforcement enforces the unlawful order, they're in trouble too. Then they don't have qualified immunity because they're required to know that Judge Walton can't do that. So that's the whole point. I'm looking to sue as many people as I can.
Okay. The chambers of the Honorable Don Walton appreciate...
Dishonorable. Dishonorable. Get it right. Dishonorable.
I think I've helped you.
Do not lie.
And I've listened to you enough.
You're good.
And I wish you luck.
I believe that I've given her notice of the preliminary injunction and temporary restraining order, and I can say that it's not ex parte because I know for a fact you're going to talk to her about this call.
This is ex parte communications, so.
I don't know what you mean about that because this is involved. This is not ex parte communication. This is me calling and putting Don Walton on notice. Would you like it by phone or email?
If you could put it in writing, we would appreciate that. Go on ahead and put it in writing so that, however.
So I can show the federal judge that I put it in writing.
I don't know what your next step is, whether or not you need to put it in writing or not.
Well, I can either go get one without calling. Like I can, just like she did to me, she issued it without hearing from the other side. I can go and ask for an injunction against Don Walton's order without telling her, but it's harder to get. You see what I'm saying? It's like, well, what's so important, and that's what happened with her. She should have held the hearing, and she didn't. And so she issued an injunction, with an ex parte injunction, without anywhere near being at the standard. And so me, because I'm a better lawyer than her and I know what I'm doing, I'm now covering my bases. And I'm saying, not only am I going to put an injunction on her, but I'm telling her about it ahead of time. So now that so then when I go in front of the judge and tell her that I'm going to get the injunction, then I can say that the judge is aware, which means they're going to be more willing to grant it because the party is aware of it. So that if you know ex parte injunction, so that makes it easier for me to get it because she's been put on notice.
Yeah, according to the Arizona Rules of Civil Law Procedure, that is your right to go and get whatever you need to do. So I can't.
Where did you come up with that? Arizona what? Arizona rules? No. This is federal.
Okay, sir, I'm going to hang up the phone now because it's
Federal rules of civil procedure, Rule 65. Federal rules of procedure, Rule 65.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Yep.
Yep. Enjoy the rest.
Hey there, chat, for a second. I don't know if you could hear that or what. But...
Yo. I got to get some work done. I'm going to come back. Listen. Look for my First Amendment rights, please. It's everybody's First Amendment. It's not mine. So, make sure. I'm not, I got to get work done. I got to make a video about Deloria and eat some food. All right, let's see. Let's ask some questions. Jeff Lamar, what's the status of the toilet cleaner case? The status is that, the judge tried to say, the judge in that case tried to say, you know what I'm going to do it? I'm going to, got to get on the microphone. Let's see. I'm going to ask Jeff Lamar's can't, get on the soapbox for a second. Mike Oxlong, reporting from the soapbox. Judge in New Mexico, toilet cleaner case. He tried to say that I couldn't talk about my case on social media. He got taken off the case and put in timeout like they always do. And then he and then it went to another court with different judges, and the criminal lawyers are handling it, and then the civil lawyers will be getting the money, and then we'll be throwing it up in the air and saying, my rights, my rights, my rights, my rights, my rights, my rights. But let me get another question. Mike Oxlong, undercover. Let's see. Emails. This guy's asking. Shit. Delete laws. As far as emails, I don't keep my emails this email, a good point I'm gonna make right here. This email, I don't keep that. I have to go to the library and check this email. So it's not immediate. Anybody that sends me this, it's not immediate. I don't have this email on my phone or my computer because I get so many emails that it would like when I check it on my phone, it like it jams my phones up and shit. I don't and my it's like so many like spam emails and shit that I gotta go to the library, go through it, and fucking sort them through. Let's see. Anna, tomorrow, come down. Anna, if you can be there tomorrow at 9 a.m. Let's see. Create contracts, delete laws. I'll be checking the library. I'll be checking the email today. The contact email, I'll be checking that today. So I'll catch up on that. No psych evaluations, Mark. The judge didn't grant that yet. He could grant it tomorrow, you know what I mean? But who knows? There's so many people chatting that it's let's see. Have you received all your discovery? Depends what case you're talking about. What do I have in my water pack? Water. Let's see. Some of your videos, have you received trifolds? What's a trifold? I can't have any weapons. Power. I got court tomorrow. It'll be live. It'll be live. The court tomorrow will be live. But I got to get some work done right now. I need to eat some meat so I can have pudding. This is Mike Oxlong signing off from the red carpet on the soapbox. How do I stop this shit? Stop streaming.